Welcome to module number 5.2, which we're gonna color grade outdoors sunny day. Before I dive into this, I wanna share with you some rules to take in mind. If you film a lot, you may definitely get into situations where the sun is bright and you have no choice than to film. And I want to share with you some strategies that will help you to be armed and still get the best of the footage. Here are some rules. Film with the sun behind the subject. It helps. I mean, if you are really a beginner, just have this rule of thumb. This is a shot I got. Share real quick. For example, like here, right? Just make sure you have zebras on the face and the sun is behind, because if it blow up and you lose information, doesn't really matter because it's still pure white because it's pure light, pure sun. So this we can take in mind. Another rule: if you have big spots with shadows, position yourself from the shadows when you film. For example, like in this shot, you see the shadow is on the left and the sun is on the right, and I put myself on the left. Again, you have harsh lines. Still, I understand it's inevitable. However, it looks more appealing in my opinion. Let me see if I change my angle. And if you go from this, it still looks fine because you have the shadows and the contrast in the face. It looks okayish, I would say, right? For example, here the image just looks flat because I'm in the sun. It's literally above us, really above us. I didn't have any angle to put myself from to film this couple. This is another rule to take in mind. And rule number 3: use a bigger aperture starting from f4 and up. However, if you want to maintain cinematic look, I recommend to use ND filters. With these ND filters, it will allow you to maintain cinematic shutter speed, which is double of your frame rate you're filming, and also to have more or less a wide open aperture to maintain the blurry background. For example, in my case, as you see again in this shot, if I zoom into the background, it's not so blurry. I can say not at all blurry, because I raised my aperture to make sure I'm exposing properly this shot. So these are the things you have to keep in mind, and let's get to color grading. As I promised, we have 3 shots. Let's go and color correct them and color grade them one by one. Simple. Let's go to color page. We have 3 tabs in the nodes, one next to each other. Pay close attention. Even though I filmed in log footage, still because of the harsh sun, the contrast is already good enough. I don't know how much I should raise it. And one thing I didn't mention in the previous module, 5.1, you have to keep in mind with this parade, because you have this upper limit of 1023. Ideally, you should not squeeze them like I'm doing right here, because you start to lose some information. Here, like you lose in the shirt and in the skies a little bit. Ideally, you have to avoid losing information altogether. And same thing in the shadows. If I go with the shadows and I'm starting to squeeze them and it's approaching 0, it becomes all black, and again I'm losing information. And with this kind of color correction, it doesn't look so pretty. So when you raise the highlights and the shadows, make sure the parade stays within this limit, ideally at 800s and 100 for shadows. So again, I'm maintaining my tradition. Here the highlights are pretty much high, so I'm just a little bit lowering them. It can happen, it's a sunny day still. And I'm just slightly putting some shadows down. So this is before, after, before, after. Like before and after, you see I added a little bit of punch, a more 3D look. With the color space, thankfully enough, the white balance is pretty much good exposed. You can still try to see with the color temperature if it's good enough for you or not. In my case, it looks very good. Every color is balanced out, especially the peaks over here. So now I can go immediately to put some LUTs over here. This one is cool. We can try this one. Now look at this. Even though this was shot during the summer, but now with this LUT it looks it was shot in autumn. Okay, going to the next. Yeah, this is a shot I actually don't like, and this may be most of the shots you may encounter during the sunny day. It doesn't mean you cannot color correct and color grade, and again, the good thing is the workflow is pretty much the same no matter the situation. You just have to keep color grading and color correcting till you understand the micro adjustments you need to take for the shot to look good enough. Again, I'm not raising that much the highlights, pushing the shadows down. Now it looks more or less good. Before, after. And even though I have blue sky everywhere, if you pay way close attention, especially with the white dress, it's going a little bit to greenish yellow, and it shows because the blues are a little bit more down. So again, what I'm using, gain, pop, and I'm not sure if you will see it because I'm using the screen recorder. This is before, after. Maybe I'll have to zoom in a little bit. Again, pay close attention. Before, after. Before, after. Even the sky looks more blue naturally, because here I had like a greenish tint. You may not see it, but again, the more you practice, you will start to see this micro deviations of the color. Now this is the color. This footage looks pretty much good enough. And let's apply a LUT. Let's see. Too cold to this. Also, you have in DaVinci some LUTs. You can experiment with them as well. But I'm using these ones. Too harsh, too intense, too moody. Okay, yeah, this one works a lot better. It adds more cinematic look. So this is after, before, after, before, after, before. I like that it removes this yellowish, greenish color, and it looks way more better. All right, and let's go to this shot. I didn't add in the final video portrait because the sun started to appear and I was not enjoying these harsh lights. But still, you can attain some good results as well. Again, 1, 2, 3 tabs. Again, I'm not raising that much the highlights, just a tiny little bit or not at all, and then squeezing the shadows. And now it's more relevant because once I squeeze down the shadows, I see that the colors, I mean the white balance especially, it's not so pretty. And again, looking at the parade, it's not enjoyable at all. So what I'm doing, again, going to gain, raising the blue, pretty much making equal. Now that's a different story. That's more like it. And for me, I see it's too bright, so I'm gonna lower the highlights a little bit more. See? Looks way better. I can push down the shadows more. Now it has a more punchy look. And I'm adding the LUT, and the LUT was this one. Voila! Simple and easy. And this is how you color correct and color grade during sunny day. See you on the next module.